Gentlemen, what is a dead giveaway that a girl watches too much PRN when you sleep with her? I dated a girl who was really into premature ejaculation PRN and she got annoyed when just her touch wasn't enough to get me off. That was weird. When she gets into my cab without any money and expects to me for a ride. Like I got bills to pay here. When she gets butthurt about me not knowing roleplay like geez I can barely tie my shoes. She tries to take my entire fist without lube or warming up first. Is she available? Asking for me. My friend can get his own. As a woman. One thing that baffled me at first was how hard it is to get it in sometimes. Like in PRN the vagina just sort of absorbs the penis. Absorbs. The music changes when she comes out of the bathroom. When they won't let a man wear a condom. At that point I'd walk. She keeps a GR fruit suspiciously near the bedroom. The angry death grip hand job. Followed by the expectation for a half cup of jizz. When they super speed jerk you off but reality feels like they're trying to skin you down to the base. Edit. Being as rough on your equipment as they are in certain videos. Pro tip. Ladies. Not all men want you to squeeze their balls like you're trying to get juice from an orange. Asterisk. How do I know that it wasn't a tip from Cosmo? Because if it was, there would most likely have been an Indian burn involved in addition to that. When she expects you to be capable of holding her up for more than 3 seconds. When she expects you to ejaculate more than 3 times in an hour. Edit. Guys. I know I brought this on myself. But I don't need to know how quickly you can glaze a cake. I saw a video where a guy was forced to come like a dozen times in an hour-long video. It was done in a single take. No cuts. God put a nut cooldown on us for a reason. Expect to have 8 rounds. I told my ex I'm like a musket. I've got one eyeing shot. When she wants you to her in like 18 different positions. 16 of which are physically impossible unless you're a bodybuilder and she weighs 80 pounds. When she is sad you don't have that Ron Jeremy Pino that you for half an hour at a jackhammer pace and come buckets at the end. I may not have the Ron Jeremy peen. But I do have the Ron Jeremy body. She tells me that she doesn't have any money for pizza. But perhaps she can pay me some other way. Even after I explain this is just our first date and I've offered to pay for everything since I asked her out. Off topic. But where can I find some honest to God sex ed? Saw the other thread and half of the terms I don't even know. She's watching PRN while I'm trying to sleep. When she expects your cum to be tasty. Okay. When she expects me to do all sorts of innovative freaky stuff while she lays there like a dead horse and I have to move her into any new positions. They expect 7-8 inches to be average size. I used to be a member of a message board around the turn of the century. 2 other members. A man from England and a woman from somewhere in the US. Fell for each other. The man went to the US on a vacation to meet her. They ultimately decided that it wasn't going to work out and agreed to remain on their separate paths. A few months later there was a different discussion in another thread and the woman mentioned that up until recently she was under the impression that all dicks were about 8 inches. It suddenly became very apparent to me that Mr. England didn't meet her horizontal expectations. And that probably contributed to their fates of separation. F for that guy. When she screams and moans like a P-run star. Hey babe. I just wanna. I don't want to wake the whole apartment building cause you're pretending all 4 inches of this is sending your soul to the almighty above. I once dated somebody who made anime girl sounds during sex. It was a complete turn off and extremely uncomfortable for me. Edit. No. You losers. I will not give you her number. My ex-husband sounded like a girl P-run star in bed. Oh yeah, oh my god, etc. Constantly. It was kind of distracting and a little bit of a turn off in the beginning, but then I got used to it. He was the most over the top dramatic person I've ever met and totally impossible to please. We got a divorce after a few years and he became a cheap looking drag queen. Life is weird. Edit. Haha wow. Thank you for my awards. Kind strangers. You've really made my day. She always expects you to show up with a pizza. When she shows up trying to be a lifeguard but I'm just in a bathtub. Every time she wants to roleplay as an underage girl and I find Chris Hansen hiding in the bushes. I knew a girl once who watched a ton of PRN growing up. She was always complaining that guys didn't want to have sex with her. Contrary to what you see in PRN. If you walk directly up to a guy 10 seconds after walking into the room. Flash yourself and say let's go out to the alley and behind the dumpsters, most guys are going to see that as a red flag and maybe try to get as far away from you as possible. Not all black guys are 10 inches. But I bet you're a 10 where it actually counts, my dude. When she pretends to have her head stuck in the clothes dryer. Opposite. My wife had never seen a PRN. No one believes me. But earlier this year we got frisky and I decided to put one on, with her approval. I put on a silly one. Legend of Zelda themed. It was dumb. But whatever, I figured it'd be better than some interracial gangbang or something. Immediately she stops me and goes whoa. I did not realize they showed the dick and PSSY. That was all the proof I needed. Says you're not as good as the PRN I watch. Huge tell. When they think dicks go from flaccid to erect in 3 seconds and men don't need any foreplay. They expect a monster cock maybe? She gargles your semen. Not understanding that every person's body is different. That not being able to come has nothing to do with beauty and more to do with being comfortable. It's a common misconception that is fun to dispel. For me it takes a few tries before I can be fully hard and come with a woman. When I'm with someone for the first time, I'm nervous. It's kind of cool. Because in the meantime I'm getting to know the person physically and my body has its own communication thing going on where I'm getting to know the person on a whole different level. Puts your dick in her mouth after an L. I never understood the appeal of that. Like, hey, you know that classic dick taste everyone's always saying is so great? Well, now try it with hints of your own on it. She keeps talking about our neighbors. I had a girl intentionally use teeth once. When she goes for positions I don't know how to do and ends up breaking your dick in half. I hooked up with a girl once that treated my testicles like they were stress balls. I can tell you I did not enjoy that at all and almost fell off the bed from the pain she was inflicting with her death grip. Please always ask a guy if he likes his balls squeezed because some of us definitely do not. When she what the would I know? P.S. I'm glad I could make people laugh a bit. Thank you for the responses. If you're reading this, you'll be alright. When she expects you to fix the leaky faucet on the kitchen sink in return. Thinking that she can deep throat me without opening up her throat. She steals your lemons. When she gets squilly during oral and either tries to suck your semen straight through your nutsack or tries to tongue punch your fart box with no heads up. Only heads down. I don't shave that far back so she's playing with fire. When she wants you to moan or not moan. Here's an example. I was with this girl and I usually don't moan easily. We were doing things and she dead stop and said coldly, moan. I was like, what? Very confused and she said, I like men who moan. Moan manly. When she's expecting you to get be rock hard on purpose. Sometimes little guy is excited and I don't even know why. Edit. Whoa. Now I gotta explain someone where I got so much karma from. When she keeps asking you to help her with absurdly simple tasks while calling you stepbrother. When she screams at the top of her lungs in fake ecstasy. Like, calm down. Sweetheart. Even I know I'm not that good. When she screams come inside me. Fill me up. Here I am wide awake at 2 AM waiting on baby to wake up for night feeds. Honestly, my girlfriend says this and it turns me on like crazy. Some sort of primal urge to reproduce or something. Edit. Highest voted comment is now about cream peas. She wears a butt plug to first date. Me, you watch PRN a lot? GF, yeah, why? She starts looking up at you cross-eyed while sucking your dick. Definitely and unironically, I might add. Thinks all guys are into butt stuff, no question. Honest answer. I think a lot of women believe foreplay should only be performed on them. And not to their dude. Like they think only attention they need to give is to the junk. And otherwise just receive. I like to feel a woman's hands through my hair. On my body. Kiss on the neck. Grab my ass. Don't be lazy. Do stuff. I've had partners that didn't just have stuff done to them and reciprocate. When she lifts up the balls and goes for the milk dud. Keep your tongue out of my anus. Devil woman. That treasure of a woman is wasted on someone who doesn't enjoy a good rim job. Automatically assuming you're into being degraded and not noticing you were crying for the past 10 minutes because she told you her ex's cock was bigger. When she says her name is Jersey and this is her first time doing an L. Orders pizza with extra sausage. Put your dick in the middle of this pizza box. You're so small. Like bitch, I'm sorry, being average isn't good enough for your bottomless vagina. But that isn't my fault. She fixes the cable. How the turntables. Obnoxious and incessant moaning. I find it a bit ironic that most of these answers aren't serious. In comparison to the other thread. When she puts my dick sideways into her mouth. Like into the chin but inside the mouth. I don't know why that ever became a thing. She S on your face and gets mad when you get mad. She starts calling you step bro out of nowhere. My husband is not exactly handy. Asked me what I wanted for my birthday. I look at him and bite my lip and say I want a role play. He gets a little smirk as I pull out a large bag and a tool belt. I giggle as I hold it up to myself. Then him. Then pull out the drill. I thrust the power trigger. Then I pull out a bunch of IKEA shelves and a new kitchen faucet. Then I surely objectify him as he helps me do the chores until everything is done. We get naked and within about 10 minutes fall asleep because it was a long day. Is a Screddit horny again? Is it ever not? This is more of a recent social experiment I undertook in a small town in the southeast of England in 2016-2017. After the end of a 10-year relationship at age of 28. I spent a year boosting my ego by targeting the more supple and perky generation. At the only late night bar in my town. Almost every encounter involved deep throat. Light choking. Anal and dirty talk. Not being experienced in these departments, I welcomed all of it with open arms. I got close to one girl and attempted to get serious. She started out very submissive in bed and would force me to choke her. And be dominant and lightly violent. She used to ask me to spit on her. Which I've never even heard of, lol. She used to say yes to an L. Amongst other 50 Shades type bondage stuff. After we got to know each other, it became clear she didn't like being choked. She didn't like being ed harder. She didn't like an L. She liked being caressed lovingly. Which is my preferred style. So at first we were both acting as people we didn't want to be and weren't attracted to. Crazy how PRNS with heads. She's constantly getting stuck ass up in easy to get out of spots. And it's always my sister. Mother or aunt. Not telling you what she prefers solely is a massive tell. Do you prefer rough sex? BDSM? Or vanilla? If you're into BDSM, what is off limits? Communication is key in all sexual activity as nobody is into the same. Did you just take my post and switch the genders? Take my upvote. Me. Black guy. Huh? I thought you would be bigger. When she leaves the room to get ready and a makeup crew and fluffer pop out of a side room to get you ready. When she puts her finger in my ass. Yeah. I dated a girl and I was supposed to be hard on command. No kissing foreplay. Nothing. Now if I wasn't hard on command. First there was something wrong with her, and after that initial thought left her brain, there was something wrong with me. I've never been more self-conscious in my life. I literally googled and tried everything to have a forever Woody. After we broke up and I started to analyze the relationship, it dawned on me that I just wasn't attracted to her personality, and that was part of the issue. Once, I was having sex with a girl where I was her first boyfriend's partner. Though this was not our first encounter between the sheets. We were going at it doggy style. And she looked over her shoulder at me, fluttered her eyelashes and said in her best sultry voice, "My PSS, why are you so hungry for your cock?" I was simultaneously amused, embarrassed and completely taken out of the moment by how absurd it was. The whole relationship was filled with mismatched expectations. Not least in the bedroom. This should have been an early red flag and a veritable vexillologist's convention of red flags. When she laughs and says that's the smallest thing she ever seen. Semicolon. Edit. I am 9 inches but I don't think she ever seen once not ready. When they do that thing that seemingly all Asian girls do in PRN where they go with every single pump and make sounds like that girl from Kung Pao with the stupid sideburns. Exaggerated overly loud moaning. Judging by this thread, we men have no idea. But probably when it feels like she's acting for a camera that isn't there. Lesbian, but I still have a fun one to offer. I once dated a girl for a couple months who hadn't had sex before she had it with me. First few times she would moan in a very fake and loud American accent. We are from NZ, so the American accent was on purpose. And say things like, "Yes baby, right there, yes." Immediately after the first 2 times had to put a stop to it because I just couldn't stay horny with it. Also had to explain to her that no, being called mummy is not hot nor SI. My favorite thing about this is that the majority of answers here are jokes about how PRNs start. But when the same question was asked directed at females, it was a lot of terribly real experiences. Edit. Thank you for the award. Dot. She's gagging herself with a giant DLDO while asking me if I'm in yet while I've already finished. When she goes down on me and gacks on my dick making angry lizard noises with spit and tears running down her face. Then when for the rest of it her tongue is wagging out and her eyes are crossed like a cocker spaniel with heat exhaustion. When she is just too wild with everything to the point that it starts hurting. When she wants to go doggy style so she can bust out the laptop and watch PRN jury. Okay, that sounds hot. She calls me daddy. Totally ruins the bro-sis theme you're trying to stick with. When you find out she has a Pornhub premium account. When their moans are fake. When she spits on your dick before sucking it while moaning in pleasure. Followed by the exaggerated screams of ecstasy during penetrative sex. When she talks about Yeti PRN. You want a snow cone? My Japanese GF was shocked I wasn't pixelated. When you catch her stealing lemons off your lemon tree. She makes premarital eye contact. This question is a dead giveaway that you are on Ask Reddit a lot. Oh. And when she only wants you to gape her ass. While calling her your sister. And insists that you come all over her face while 6 more people wait in line. When she tries to hoover your nut straight through the sack and has no finesse or gentleness when it comes to head. Also, wanting a facial. Nobody wants that in her hair or eyes. Semi-related. Girls, if you're kinda a closet freak, likes kinky stuff, watches a lot of PRN, etc, and you trust your guy, just tell him. Don't try and hide it. We appreciate the honesty and openness. And in reality we probably already know you are, and if we're still there, It means we're into it. In college I dated a girl who tried to hide that she was into kinky stuff. Eventually she just told me, and the sex was way better for both of us. I knew where my lines were and I knew where hers were. I could do things I knew she'd enjoy, but wouldn't be sure if she didn't say it. Be honest with your dude. Tell him what you like. Even if you think it's something that's just in PRN. Believe me, it leads to more sex. Your dude will find a way to make it happen. A string of women now have called me stepbro and thrown themselves into the dryer. They say they're stuck, but when I attempt to remove them, they pretend like they can't get out and say it's from PRN. They say, oh no stepbro, I can't get out, but I show them that the door is large and they can. At which time they act upset with me for their freedom. I am uncomfortable with it, but they do keep the dryer empty, which has made my clothes situation better than ever. On balance it's fine, but apparently the PRN situation is getting kinda weird. Bold of you to assume I have sex. When she expects me to believe she is my sister, mom, aunt, grandmother, secretary in turn while doing some out of place task like loading the dishwasher. I never imagined my brother, son, nephew, grandson, boss would ever fill me up as well as he fills the dishwasher. Asterisk. Bitch. Dot. This one isn't nearly as depressing as the other one. She pulls out a GOP fruit. Expects you to last more than 2 minutes. It used to be the case for me. I'd blow my load way too soon but make up for it later on round 2 or 3. But then I got to taking antidepressants for my depression, separate issue, and suddenly I had the stamina of a champion. Acts like she's stuck under my bed. My wife said give me 9 inches and make it hurt. So I hit her 3 times and punched her in the face. She looks around and asks where the other 4 guys are at.